Okay. Alright, guys. Let's get to work. I would really like to make my screen a little better. I'm not sure if I can adjust the contrast on it like I'd like to. How do I add a, I wonder if I can add a layer. It doesn't seem to let me, so I don't know. But I mean, that's pretty raw in comparison for how it looks. It's just a tiny bit more saturated than what the camera shows, and that's kind of where I'm like, I want it to pop a little bit more on screen for you guys. I also don't know if my light has, I don't know why it's getting so hot. Like, I don't know if that's better, to be honest. Is it because my backlight is on? I mean, maybe that looks a little better. I'm doing good, Christopher. How are you doing? Yeah, I just don't think there's a way around it. I'm getting that to look a little better. I think it's just really shiny because the paper's so smooth. But just chilling, huh? Did you have to do anything today? Or is today kind of like just a typical day? I already worked this morning, that's why I'm on a little later than 10. I had back-to-back meetings and I'm done. I'm done with meetings today. No mas meetings for me. I'm gonna hit mute real quick. just to sharpen my pencils. Okay, should be good. Hey Dusk, how you doing? Yeah, see, I wish I could be an early bird. I'm not. Having been in the military, I still, I can force myself to do it and function to a degree. Half the time, though, the hard part is my memory doesn't retain things in the mornings. However, I can do stuff at night because I'm more of a night owl. I can read books and all and retain it all. Retain everything, but when it's first thing in the morning, I am useless. So, pretty funny. Head out for the day. That's exciting. Where are you going? Anywhere fun? By the way, I hope that doesn't seem like I'm prying. I'm just taking interest. Alright, sounds good. I plan to be on a little while longer today. I'm going to work on a YouTube video tutorial thing that was on the agenda. I have some new equipment coming in that I think will help with that. So, kind of excited. I'll get to put it to use. But yeah, I plan to be on a lot longer today. So, have fun going out today, and hopefully it's something fun. Like I said, I know weekdays it's like not always fun. But I try to be optimistic. I'm not sure if you can see it, Christopher. How dope are these lightning effects? Like, and I have more I'm going to do with it. It's where I've kind of stopped, you know. Void, what's up, man? I don't know yet. I think I'm gonna be making prints though, and I'll get them professionally done. I got a company here in town that does prints and everything, so I'm gonna try them out and see what I think. If I have to do it myself, I will. It's just a much harder, longer process, and I don't have the programs anymore to do it. But I used to, I like know how to do it. I'd rather someone else that actually has it all set up do it because it's probably just timing and cheaper. But and they'll hopefully put it on some really nice matted like paper, like a mat. So yeah, I get what you mean, Christopher. Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it. Really? That's cool. You know, I need to get back into that. I've done the shiny hunting on it was one of the Game Boy ones. And it's a hard grind on the older ones. And I've tried it on Legends Arceus, I think. I think that was the one I did. It was no, Sword. It was Sword. I did it in Sword. I did the shiny hunting. Nice. All right. So yeah, it yeah. Thanks guys for joining on my other channels and on Twitch, YouTube. If you guys haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, all that annoying jazz. It helps support the channel, and I got more content coming. So yeah, I saw this effect earlier. It's like a fire effect, and it was purplish on another. I think it was like a TikTok live stream, and so I took a snapshot of it, and I'm gonna kind of mimic that effect in these areas here on that lightning, and it's gonna look really cool. Kind of look like Ghost Fire, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. So you can find references in everything. Yeah, I would be too, man. The shinies are rare and they look cool. Like that's the whole idea why I like doing the mashup concept. So your idea of doing these two is awesome. Like I'm, because I'm drawing it and I didn't know a ton about Mimikyu and Darkrai and all that. I watched everything, so I'm like fully involved in it too. Like I like it. And that's also why I like shinies because it's different. They're rare. They're harder to obtain. I like Pokemon with different features. There's something unique about them. I think that's what is really neat. I know it doesn't seem like I'm doing much here, but every little amount and stroke adds just a little bit more color and saturation. I'm just trying to avoid hard lines so that it blends better in these smaller areas. And then I'm going to move down to this section here, kind of try to finish it out, and then we'll go over the whole thing overall and do one more glaze. And then I got the bottom. So looking at probably 2 more weeks. My goal is the end of February, but I don't know if I'm going to hit that unless I put 8 hours in a day, and that might be much. Half a Darkrai. Well, yeah. I mean, it's more closer to Darkrai in the shoulders, the claws, but Mimikyu has those claws that come out that were the ghosty energy ones, and Darkrai. Yeah, I mean, we don't ever see Mimikyu without like. I think he had a bag over his head, right? We don't actually ever see Mimikyu without any of that, right? I mean, I only just recently finished, I think it was Sun or the show. And then I watched Darkrai, but again, I gotta watch that one more thoroughly. But yeah, no, I really like this one. It's really cool. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I was like, they never showed it in the show. I don't think he always had a bag on his head. Ah, okay. I wonder. I wonder if I can find it because I never looked it up. Like I never got curious enough. I'm gonna look it up. Oh, okay, dude. It's actually kind of cute. That's nuts, though. Yeah, it's a Pokemon with so much mystery, and you die if you look under. Like what? That's nuts. Yeah, nope, exactly. It's a good call. It's a really cool idea. Um, all those that make like Pokemon stuff, there's a team. That's kind of how they develop them. That's why we end up liking it so much. Um, I don't know if I could come up with something like this all entirely 100% on my own without ideas or what others might enjoy and stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, there's a moment there where I wasn't really following all the new Pokemon movies, and every once in a while I try to go back and rewatch them all. So yeah, getting caught up is it's fun and nostalgic for me. Yeah. No, I would almost consider this evolution like to be more ghost, fire, and electric type. Like it's pulling the. But again, I'm probably gonna make this fire less orange. It's gonna be a little bit more purple hued. I was gonna add a little bit of that to it to give it a ghost fire effect a little bit. I kind of like the real fire though, so I mean, I'm making it look cool. But yeah, as far as it goes, it would have more of the enhanced psychic abilities, and then all of the existing ones combined. So trying to mesh it together as best as I can. Timur, how's it going? Welcome. How's your day been? You know what I could do to offset it? Because like you have this little bit of purple. I could do that same thing with the ghost. Because I was gonna make these arms ghost instead corporealized, and just add a little bit of that hint in there. I don't know. I was thinking of just doing it kind of like transition and leaving it slightly different there so it looks blended, see through. Oh, okay. Terra Pokemon. It's changing. Honestly, I really enjoy the world of Pokemon. There's so many, and everyone can have their favorite essentially. And like, since a child, I mean, that it's just I don't know how to explain it. I like working with animals, and I train animals. So I mean, you know, like I guess there's that kind of you can relatability there. So I really enjoy it. Sometimes I think about the concept of battling it a little bit, a little odd, but in that world it works. Especially when you're basically a 9-year old and the parents are like, okay, bye, go catch all the animals, and you know they're in life and death situations. So I think about like warriors and other ancient, kind of more traditional settings. But dang, what? 1,025 Pokemon? I think OG was like 300 something. Like back when Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow came out. And apparently there was a green, but that was only released in Japanese. Which now that I know how to somewhat read some Japanese, I might be able to play. But probably have to spend a lot of time translating still. Until I get even more fluent in it. Well, they don't kill. They knock them out. I mean, I guess they can die, but they essentially get knocked out, and then you put them. Then you can go revive them. So I mean, it's almost like they have technology that perfectly fixes them. But in the show, they for the drama effect, they always act like, oh no, it's doom. Yeah, no, we didn't have green in English. We got yellow. Yes, we did get emerald. But yeah, I think that was the only one that wasn't released in English was Green, and I remember that. Yep, exactly. And the healing ball didn't come out until later either. So have you told me this before? What's your favorite Pokemon game then? Out of all of them? Yeah, it is something like that. Well, no. Hold on. The 3DS one I'm playing, Sun and Moon, has heal balls in it. I think. I'm pretty certain it does. Unless I was playing one of the other games. I might have been playing Sword or the most recent one on there that isn't very good. Now I can't remember. I'm jumping around. So I'm playing the 3DS one. I'm playing the Game Boy Blue version at the moment. And then I'm just like kind of going in order. I have all of them. So what else is crazy to me is they never came out with a Pokemon game for Super Nintendo, but they did for the 64. Although we did get Super Game Boy for Super Nintendo, so that was quite a joy to play Pokemon games in color. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, it is. I mean, there are different platforms and styles and everything, but yeah, no, I hear you. Emerald Green, I get into that one, and if I stop, then it's hard to get back into because I'm usually getting out of it because I get busy. But when I do, I'm glued to it for like I could almost go a whole day and do nothing but play that game. And then I end up grinding for 8 hours in one area just trying to get certain Pokemon. So, and or level them up and stuff like that. But yeah, Emerald's a lot of fun. I like that one. This song is so weird. Next. Too repetitive. Yeah, no, I like Scarlet and Violet too. I just don't know why it has to be so glitchy. I mean, we got games like Zelda Breath of the Wild and even that newer one that take way more hardware and software resources, and they used to do expansions for consoles to make certain games run right. And I don't know why they can't seem to do that with the Switch. And I would go the emulator route. However, I kind of want to use the online features, and I don't want to go through the hassle of that. But I heard it runs pretty decently with emulators. So, I don't know. I enjoy playing games because of glitches sometimes, but I'm a little disappointed that such a large company with such a popular fan base for, like, it's guaranteed sales, can produce such a crummy game that after like the last couple years we still don't have an update that fixes frame rate issues. You know, the terrible artifacting, the low resolution, stuff like that. Well, yeah, I mean, I pay for Nintendo Online, and because it has the old games, I get to play the Super Nintendo 64 games, Sega. Like, I enjoy that. Um, I love retro games and stuff, and I still play them to these days, all the time. Currently playing Jet Force Gemini. I almost did a Jet Force Gemini poster. The amount of resources, though, for reference material is very minimal. So I've been playing the game thinking about, like, what could I pull from the game and create from there. But yeah, I like playing a lot of the old ones. And then there's Turok. And James Bond. That 007 James Bond game was really good. On Switch, though, nah. Xbox, amazing. Switch apparently can't do the new modern controls for it, which just enhances it a tiny bit more. I don't need it to be like the newer games entirely, but the controls they did for that, like the airplane control for aiming, is just not very superior. But yeah, I really enjoy all those. And I play a lot of Mario stuff and a lot of Mario Kart. So there's that too. And then when I'm not playing those, I play a lot of Dark Souls type games. Right now I'm playing Jedi Survivor, that second one of the Fallen Order series. I also read the books of those. Those are really good too. But so going in that route, it'd be really cool if we could get a Pokemon game that is open world and kind of feels like something out of GTA 5. But like a little bit more than that. And the one thing that bothers me is NPCs don't seem to move much or do much, except we did get that in Scarlet where at least there's a little bit going on. I don't know if I've beaten any of them once. Elden Ring, any of the Dark Souls, I don't think I've beaten any of them yet. Because I spend so much time grinding that eventually I lose interest after a while. Because then I die like right away. So I go grind some more to level up. And I also don't really take advantage of the multiplayer features that I probably should. And then, yeah, like Elden Ring, I'm at the final boss, but I always keep dying. So then I go level up some more, and that takes like a week now to level up like once. So, yeah. Sometimes it's hard, but now I mostly play with friends, and we play Call of Duty a lot, so. And I liked in Dark Souls 3 the movement became a little less stiff, so that was kind of nice. Does anyone play anything that kind of has that level of difficulty that I may not have heard of, or? Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Hey, Butthead, how's it going? Am I going to do more podcasts eventually? Right now, no. I appreciate that question though. I haven't had anyone ask about my podcast in a while. Um, I think if I get a decent enough topic to kind of discuss and talk about, yeah. But some of my platforms have kind of changed, so I don't really get paid out like I used to. Um, and that's kind of where the discouragement lies on it. So, do you have a topic idea or anything in mind that I should consider? Void. So it's the Adam Paradox podcast. It's on pretty much everything, or used to be. I think it's still on Spotify. Let me see if I can get a link for it. Let's see if this works. So that's what it is to the podcast. I mean, these are older that I've done. And I don't know how much all of it holds up to now, if things would be the same or different compared to like how I feel now or what I know now compared to when I made them. So take it with a grain of salt. Some views and opinions may have changed over the years. Spotify's free. Um, that's just the one I have handy because I have Spotify open right now. But it's under the Adam Paradox podcast, and it has pretty much the same logo that I use on most of my platforms. Where I think I have I added sunglasses or the headphones to it in orange glow. Yeah, no, I like I said, it's amazing someone even asked about my podcast. Haven't heard anything about it in a while, and that's because I haven't done much with it in the last 4 to 5 years. So I was doing it a lot during college. So, but yeah, if I get enough requests for it, I will certainly make another one. Those are a little bit shorter to produce. The only hard, time consuming part is doing the research. And back then, I was already doing a lot of research, talking about topics that were already of interest. Um, my earlier ones were about leaving Christianity. So some of that stuff is not always as popular, and some people, they're like, oh, you don't believe in God or one exists, and then they kind of block me because it goes against their views, and that's not the point that I try to convey in that, and hopefully I never did that back then. And if I did, I might just have to address it, but the goal was to just be a little bit more questioning, educational, stuff like that. So it's not ill-intended, it's not hateful, stuff like that. But it was exposing a lot of the people that take advantage of religion, grifting and doing very questionable things all in the name of religion that just wouldn't even be a part of it if there was, a God. So the, that's kind of where it is. But the other parts of it was workplace toxicity. That is what I did for my thesis and my master's. So there's quite a few on there about, toxic workplaces. I think I did other bits of psychology and stuff like that too. So. Yeah, no kidding, right? God speaks to me. I hear voices. But I'm trying to think what my other topics were. I think some of it might have been current events. Um, I think now that I'm older, I know a lot more. I did a lot of those when I was I don't know, late 20s. Now I'm pushing my late 30s, so I think I can probably do a little better in some areas on some of those things. So. Yeah. Yeah, you seem to get some of the humor. Oh, you texted more up here. Hold on, sorry. I'm behind. Yeah. I think we can still have imaginary friends. It's a matter of knowing that they are imaginary and then what we think is real. That's the issue. You know? I wouldn't say I have imaginary friends, but I do. Like, in roleplay, in my action figures and figurines, I like to give them personas, personality, as if they would be real. It'd be really cool, in thought. But I know the difference of reality and imagination, so it's not a problem for me. I'm not changing my life around it and going, I have this excuse to, um, treat somebody a certain way because I'm hiding behind something that tells me I can do that. That's not. If I disagree with what it says, I should be able to disagree with it. And when I was going through and doing that podcast and kind of steering away from faith and all that, I was kind of going, I don't agree with these things. And if this is supposed to be so just and right, why doesn't it stick out like this is obviously the choice to make. Like, if I were a god, this is what I would probably need to do too. And instead, we're just lacking a ton of context and taking it on faith that it's all, supposed to work out that way. And it's like, yeah, but the actions are still, if thou shalt not kill, it doesn't say thou shalt not kill and exempt God from that thing. So it's just really weird. And then bad things happen to people, yet like really bad things, and then there's no intervention, and then other times there is. So regardless, when you get into it, it's just so doesn't seem like how that would be the message if a God knows everything would come across. Anyways, that's why I question things. That's why I kind of went on this whole thing about like faith not really being the most reliable or best method for determining what we should or shouldn't do. But you're funny, yeah. And then I still question the accountability, and everyone's like, "Oh no, it's accountable. All those books in there are very accountable." And I'm like, "Well, it was altered by Constantine in like 300 BC AD, and then we don't, we can't confirm. We don't even know who these people were, and we're taking everything they say." Some very literally and some not so literally. So I don't know, it's just such a mess that I was like, I can live my life peacefully without it and not think about, okay, is something meddling with my life? And I think there's others out there that feel the same way. So my hope in regard to that podcast was to kind of help bridge that gap a little bit. Anyways, hopefully I'm not offending anyone or upsetting anybody. That's not my goal or plan with any of it. Or even talking about it now. So. Yeah, exactly. They had a blade to their neck to finish the. Yeah. Well, and you start looking at the history of like the. Was it the gladiator? What do they call that? The dome? The arena stuff, right? Sorry, I'm trying to finish my lunch here. You look at that, and they were like doing stuff to the Christians and everything, and this who was it that wanted to be the sun god at the time? And you just kind of look at some of the history, and there's things that no one ever really discusses. And you kind of find out there's a lot of motive for it to be manipulated in their favor. And it's not like this, I don't know, it's just a really weird time that a god would make himself known and write things and not later. We have thousands of years of civilizations and ones we don't even know about. So, and it's just kind of interesting that every culture, every area has their own version, own interpretation, multiple different religions. And if there was this God that can do all these things that we claim, which I feel like is like, my God can do this. Oh yeah, well my God can do this. That'd be like arguing Pokemon and, well, mine can breathe fireballs. Oh yeah, well mine can do water and electricity, and you just keep upping it, right? Kind of like how imagination works. So, yeah. You could even argue, and probably not the best argument, but you could say you're in the water, swimming just fine, and someone comes over to you and says you need a call for the lifeguard, and scream for the lifeguard. You need help, and you're like, no, I'm doing just fine, swimming okay. And then they're like, oh, there he is, there's the lifeguard, and you look over and there's nothing. Like it's kind of hard to say, yeah, there's a lifeguard there. I believe it. I'll let him rescue me. And you drown, for instance. Even though you were swimming fine, you let yourself drown. That's the logic isn't there, and I think it can be damaging. So, anyway, strong opinions, but that's where it's a long topic. I could keep going, but I'm just trying to live a happy life now. Um, I do think, there are some benefits to religion, and that's kind of like community and things like that. Having a place that can be supportive. However, there are the bad people. They're always like beware of wolves in sheep's clothing kind of things. Um, you know what I'm saying? So that does happen. That I think I'm pretty sure I did an episode on something like that. People that go into religion literally because it's a source for them to manipulate and feed off others. And that's why when you hear things, it's more than likely kind of true. Right. Yeah. Well, and let's say it's not based on life. The issue is that if there is a God, he's not making himself attestably known in a form or method that we can all observe the same way. And that would be a problem, right? Um, we can make the same argument about ghosts. Granted, a lot of people have claimed to have seen ghosts. Uh, we've never had a method of detecting one that is consistent across the board. And that's kind of where there's issues. And then it becomes more about your belief, your strong desire to see the world a certain way, and beliefs are even a valuable method of determining what or what not to do. So, but I don't want to, I don't want to harp on the religious thing too much. So, I'll so gladly talk about, answer questions, but I'll try to avoid doing it the whole live stream today. So like I said, I could almost go forever on it. I don't necessarily want to do that to anybody. Yeah, so a lot of the old phenomenon in an old house, unexplained, um, can be attributed to a lot of different variables. House shifting, ground shifting. It could be the air pressures. It could be old wood, warping, and it causes the next board and the next board to warp. That's why we think we hear footsteps. Um, our brains also play tricks on us, trying to interpret sounds and things that we can't see. And if we aren't aware of that very well, we can believe it very quickly. That's why usually when we see it visually, we go, "Oh, thank God, it's not actually anything I need to be afraid of." But that scared me, right? And that's falls into our primal instincts to be afraid when we need to be. Rosa, hello. Yeah, and there's just all sorts of things. And then when if there's a methane leak, you could hallucinate, not even know there was a methane leak because you can't smell it. I think that's what I'm thinking of, methane. And you start hallucinating, and then those things do become very real, which I think happens even out. You can be out in the woods and apparently run across one. So there's just so many explainable possibilities. It's just a matter of being able to test for it. But I'm accustomed to old houses, all sorts of noises, mice in the walls, things like that, spiders, things always shifting, moving, it's just nuts. So. Yeah, that's a good point, Butthead. Sorry, I love your name, dude. The that was kind of a hard part for me too. And I did have some friends and everybody unfollow me because they, we used to talk about it. And it's like, why can't I ask these questions, and why am I being shunned so hard for it? Like, these are questions I feel like we should be able to ask, and it's got to have a real answer to it. And no one really wants to give one. So it only took me about a month, and I was pretty much just like satisfied to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm good. So, and it took a few more years, and then it's no longer on my mind like that. Now I just kind of look at things and go, how do people believe it so blindly without a single question? And if you ask a question, they block it out really quickly, because it's going to impact their beliefs. So there's a defense. You know that scene in The Matrix with Neo and Morpheus walking the sidewalk? And he's saying that people aren't ready for the truth yet, so they'll defend it. It's kind of like that. Sorry, I have to answer a couple work texts real quick. Hey, Tamara, how you doing? Yeah, Void, I know what you mean, and that's kind of what I get told too, and I feel insulted, you know? If God really knows that some people are going to be really, really hard to, like determine his existence, he would know exactly what he'd had to do to prove it to you. And he could do that individually to everybody if that were to happen. I just feel like, let's say there is a real one, why would he want you to live in such a discipline that doesn't let you enjoy the world that you're in. It's kind of a conflicting message. I created this world for you to enjoy it. I created this life for you to enjoy it, but don't enjoy anything of it because it's from the devil. And I just think that's, you know, the whole Marvel superhero thing, why we like superhero movies so much and why we like movies with heroism, and there has to be a bad guy. And realistically, the bad guy in this story has done less than the good guy. So, kind of conflicting stuff. And yeah, all my family is pretty much religious and all that. I think I get in most of my debates with my uncles, and yeah, that always gets interesting. But all right, butthead, thanks for hanging out. Have a great lunch. Stop by again. Yeah, so no, I'm excited. Someone else knows about my podcast. It's always like very appreciated when even at times like work can go unnoticed for so long and then it comes back. It's like, oh sweet. Um, Sometimes the delay is discouraging, but alrighty, sounds good. Sometimes the delay is discouraging, but it is nice to see it still get recognized and all that. Um, for a while there, I was interviewing people that had been kind of part of some like nasty stuff, like Amazon was one, um, and people are going through some like real, pardon French, real stuff that insert my French there, that just shouldn't be part of a job, and it's kind of being swept under the rug. Like no one really acknowledges it or just goes, well, just get away from it and move on. But it's like it's their life, and if you live in these areas where you only have factories and manufacturers and stuff, like where I am, there's Pepsi, M&M, there's Tyson, that's kind of the majority of the jobs are factory jobs here. Um, that's all there is in some of these areas where they live. So it does become more of a mental stress. Why don't you just go work somewhere else? Well, it could be limited, like really limited. And somewhere else may not pay enough for you to even drive there. So it, especially if you don't have a car that runs well or something like that. But yeah, real things. And so I was doing that for quite a while. It's taxing and stressful, and you get a lot of guests that back out, stuff like that. So it's hard. yeah, producing a podcast it's a lot of fun. I like it. I've been thinking about resurrecting it again. Just can only do so much at a time, and that's kind of what I'm at right now. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do that again. Would be nice to have some guests on there. So if anyone watching or listening right now wants to maybe collaborate on something like that, we can try to set that up and do that. That'd be really cool. So might do one a week kind of thing. I'd be on board for that. All right. Yeah. Hey, get some sleep, man. Thanks for checking it out. And I know I'm a little bit more chatty than usual, but hopefully it's enough background noise to kind of bore you and put you to sleep. To ease the mind. Playing weird songs every time. Next. Oh, here's a cool mashup. This is new. All right, thank you. Fishy, hello. Thanks for joining and hanging out. I just noticed my chat is not working and I don't know if my alerts are working or not. I'm not sure why the chats don't show up on the window, but that's okay. It's kind of a cool remix of those songs. Nostalgia, hello. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys haven't already, follow, share, subscribe, whatever. Whatever helps support. Send a ton of hearts. Anything goes. I know it's weird to ask. Like, I just want to not worry about it too much, but it does help support me as I'm trying to build this full time. So, and it will help provide a little bit better content too. I can get vertical for a live stream on TikTok is one. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on there, and then between all my channels, trying to max out a little bit. It'll help me provide for my home, my family, kids, when I have kids. Yeah. But only do what you feel compelled to do. There's no pressure. Alright, so let's move the stick out of the way as best I can here. Might be able to just... How's that look so far? Pretty cool? Alright, I have to answer a work text here real quick. Sorry, guys. When work calls, work calls. Oh, never mind. Legend, how's it going? How are ya? Staying busy? Not if you're watching on TikTok, right? Or just maybe procrastinating, like I would when I'm on TikTok, putting things off. Either way, how's your day going? All right, so I got all of this finished today, which I'm excited for. Let me go through some orange and add some glow to this stuff here. Even though I might use a purple hue, like I said. We'll see. Well, what do you think? Does it look good? I know I got a lot of reflection right now. I'm trying to figure out how to add a filter so I can at least add a little contrast to it. Because I feel like if I can add a little contrast, it'll look better. Why is everything so hot on this light? I guess this one doesn't really have a lot, so I'll worry about that later. So for now, let's go through and blend this in some more. Tire the hell out of my hand. Guys, if you haven't checked out, I have a time lapse on my TikTok and quite a few other platforms. Twitch is the only one that doesn't let me upload the clip like that, so I'm not exactly entirely sure how I would pull that off at the moment. That kind of shows everything almost up until pretty much this point. So feel free to check it out. It's not very long time lapse. Took a really long time to get that video outputted though, exported. So give it a like if it was awesome. All those little things help support the channel and me as an artist. So it's right now, for the moment, the best way to help support me. All that. I've been getting asked that question kind of offline, so I apologize if I haven't said much more earlier. So right now I'm using a Polychromos 151 blue for this background, and then I also use 140 blue for other areas. Although when I mix it with the black, it tends to do kind of a gray effect, so I use it sparingly, unless I'm trying to get that ghosty, smoky effect in areas. So I really should be going in the way of the light on this. I don't mind if there's texture, but I'm trying to smooth it out too. As best I can. Wonder why that's getting so hot. Sorry guys, my light is starting to cook. I don't know if I need to change it up at all. Feeling these are the same. Yeah, this is like, I could probably cook an egg with it. Like, it's hot. is so hot on the output there. So it really shouldn't be at all. Let's see if this one's better. Like it might be. Computer, stop playing. Huh. Doesn't want to go up to the highest setting for it. Although I'm not getting a buzzing sound from it at least. So I guess I can try it. Yeah, I can't figure out why that one was so hot. That's unreal. So when I hit the up button, usually it stops going up. This one just shuts off. So that is really odd. For this power cord. And I have one more I can try, so let's try that. Oh, it's sparking. Why is it sparking? There, that one works, right? So we'll go with that. If all else fails, I'll use this one. But, you know, I don't know if this one's going to have a similar issue or not. So, yeah, it's hot. It's kind of unreal that it's so warm. So we'll just see. We'll see what happens. Haven't had that issue in such a long time, but I think when things get old enough, it happens. Computer, play. Computer, play.
Playing Bluetooth.
Thank you. There we are. All right, let's get back to it. Hey, Ren, the unknown. Kylo. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. How are you doing today? I apologize for the brief interruption there. I had to fix my light as it was getting really hot for some reason. It's a possibility that something shorted in the power cord. So hopefully I have it fixed. I would hate for my art station to burn down after putting in almost 50 hours. But how are things with you? I just realized I'm in my camera, so I apologize. Let me go over back to the side. exams. I hope you finished. Like, I know what you mean though. You're not testing right this second. You're just probably not as much to do when you have exams going on. I imagine. That's exciting. What subjects? Oh, okay. It's not too bad. Is English your primary language? Imagine if so, then it may not be too hard. Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad then, I guess. Right? I know it can be though. It can be hard. But good luck. All the hard work does, come back to us at some point in some way or another. All right, sounds good. this one's getting hot too. Ah, that's such a weird thing. Oh my gosh, I'm falling. Okay, let's try a different outlet, see if that helps. This thing's getting so hot that I want to cause a fire here. Like my other ones don't. What's this one attached to? Oh, my pencil sharpener. So let's move that one. Not sure what I'm unplugging if I do that. I lost my monitor. You know what? I could try to see if the actual wall socket does better. Let's try that. Turn down one and we'll just see if that works better. Your drawing program is lagging. Pen and paper. Pen and paper. No lag. So this is what I'm working on in my notebook. It's a ditto. Right. I used to do a lot of digital too, and I still enjoy it, but I ended up with I don't know. There's something about pen and paper I like the simplicity of it sometimes. That way. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting hot now, so maybe it's just that plug on my power strip. Hopefully, you know, we're good now. And so I'm just glossing this over very simply. Um, Trying to fill in the areas that, there might be a dark line here. I'm trying to fill in the spaces in between so it looks solid. And applying pressure variably because it will almost essentially chip away excess and cause it to look smoother. It's not a perfect method and it takes a lot of time, but the other better method is to really, when you do your first layer, do it as consistent as possible to avoid deep lines like I just made in here at one point. It like cut into the paper. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay, no, I get that. Yeah, might just have to clear out the cache or restart it so that it close any apps or whatever, so it doesn't lag on you. But yeah, I know it's like to have lag all too well. But that's really cool. Yeah, if someone wanted to gift me with the iPad Pro, I'd be using it too. Um, I still like my pen and paper though, pencil and papers. But there's like times like at night, like I don't want to sit here the whole time. I'd love to just go do some digital stuff. Especially because you can kind of do it a little faster. But I'd use it mostly for experimenting, like Photoshop and copy paste things and whatnot, and more graphical things. But I'd also like one that feels like regular paper too. Sometimes. Yeah, it's not getting hot anymore. Oh, crisis averted. All right, that's awesome. Have I gone through any life or death situations? I've been through plenty of life situations, yeah. Death ones? Yeah. um, I don't know if I could think of any off the top of my head, but I mean, I've been to war, I've been in a few others that have been kind of scary. Um, yeah, again, I don't know if I could think about them right off the top of my head, though. Kind of like happened a long time ago. I haven't really thought about it. What about you? Where's my kneaded eraser? How's it missing? Interesting. What'd I do with it? Like, I know I didn't misplace it. Huh, this is odd. I never misplace it. Will it fall? No. Weird. I made it into a ball and it rolled away. That's probably what happened. Seriously, this never happens. Where is it? I don't have much up here to have misplaced it. Really odd. What did I do with it? Is it my pencil box? No. Weird. Really, really weird. No, that one's getting hot now too. Huh. I might have to replace this light. Can't explain why everything's getting hot. The light's not hot, so that's good. Sorry, I hit the camera. Oh, there's my kneaded eraser on top of the monitor still. I was like, that's why it didn't make sense. I couldn't find it. Sexbith, hello. Wow, Ren, you beat cancer? That's amazing. That's awesome. So what... I mean, I imagine at that stage you had to go through a lot. And that's really exciting. So what cancer was it? Ow. I just hit my heel with the chair. Really good. Ouch. There was a life and death situation, just ran my heel. Ah. Nothing compares to that. Obviously. Is it multiple sclerosis or what is it? Is it leukemia? That was my first thought. Oh, Hodgkin's lymphoma. I know about that. Okay. Yep, no, I'm familiar. the light itself is not getting hot, but the plug keeps getting warm. Alright, so let's... I just can't figure out why that keeps happening. I mean, there's no ground in these things, so that could be why. Let's try this one. Maybe that's what I need to do is figure out what the amps are that it needs. So we'll figure that out. So what was the worst experience then of that cancer treatment? Like during that time, what was the I imagine life or death or close calls, or what was the worst? Was it finding out? Jessica, hello. Hope your day's going well. Yeah, I bet. That can't be easy. That's not getting hot. It does say 120 volts. That's what I have on there. So oh, this says 20 watts. What? Why did one say 120 and now this one says 20? Voltage 120, wattage 20 watts. Oh. Okay, we'll go from there. You can eat peanut butter and bacon. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I know it's like not to be able to eat sometimes diabetic, and sometimes my meds don't let me eat much. But all right, thanks for hanging out, Ren. Hope to see you again. I'm probably gonna actually head out too, work on some of my other projects, and pick this up again tomorrow. So I'll try to be on every day at 10.